Hey there folks, thanks for tuning in to my snake video. This is my Leopard Boa, very young, probably between, that's my guess. I mean, they're pretty small. This one's pretty small. And this is my third boa now, and I got them all three, or the last two as little babies too. I think my hypo boa was maybe a little bit older, maybe 6 months, a little bit longer, a little bit bigger. But this one is small. And if you're following my videos, I think this is probably video 3 or number 4. I don't know where you're going. Just stay on my arm, little girl. And some days are really good, very calm. Other days, the snake does not want to be held, does not like me, thinks I'm going to eat her, and gets very pissy. Actually, I got bit yesterday or the day before, kind of between the thumb and the hand. There at your point between your thumb, and it drew a little bit of blood. It didn't hurt, just a real superficial little pinprick, even smaller than that. But yeah, I mean, you got to pick and choose when to pick this one up. Hopefully that'll change maybe as she grows older. And maybe that'll, people saying hi. Standing out here in a front yard with a snake, people stop by and give you a thumbs up or the surprised look. But anyways, yeah, so some days really good, really calm. Other days, leave her alone. It's very weird. My other two boas had no personality like that. They were just as tame as could be, and as gentle and as fearless out of the sack from day, or maybe the second day, which is call it the second day of after they were shipped. So this is just a little bit of learning curve. Hopefully, like I said, she'll tame down and be just like my other two, which are bulletproof. Other than, if you watched maybe 2 videos ago outside, my hypo boa got really scared, or something really bothered him at the moment, and he didn't like my bill on my hat, which has happened plenty of times before with my other reptiles. They see that bill, that shadow, as something really threatening, and they just don't like it. My tegus have gotten very upset before, and started taking off running. So yeah, I need to remember to not wear a hat, or maybe it's just in the hat in the intense, really direct sun, and it creates that shadow on my face. They just don't like it. So enough about that. Everything's going well with this little girl. I called her Carmela, because of kind of the caramel color, like the little candy caramel. Or caramel flavor that you get on a sundae or ice cream, kind of a brown color. She's got some pink under her belly, and it turns a little bit more brown, darker up top, but she's got a little bit more black in her pattern. A leopard boa with probably Sonoran boa, and I've seen terms about blood in there. And what else have I seen? Hypo, blood, leopard. I think that's all of them. Sonoran is a kind of snake, which I've been informed again, which are typically a little bit smaller breed. So maybe I lucked out and got a snake that's not going to grow bigger than max 6.5 feet. 5 to 6.5 feet. That would be great. But hopefully you enjoyed seeing my video and me talking. Some people don't like me talking, but got to talk to make a video, to make a real video. Let's call it that. But she's got black eyes, or really dark eyes, which is kind of different, not used to that. And other ones you can clearly see they're kind of cat-like eyes with the slit, which is neat, which definitely is neat to see. She's behaving today. But thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you watching again. Let's see if I can move her around. And also too, I'll just close out. She's got these little white markings on the very last part of her tail. and correct me if I'm wrong, I think a real good indication, and I haven't read this or can verify that, I've verified it with someone that's a professional that told me this, but I think that one of the differences between the males and the females is the females where their little anal portion is shorter to the tip of their tail, and the males is longer. My males, both of my, well, yeah, I think, one of them may be a female, but I know that Manny, my Nicaraguan boa, is for sure male, and his tail is a lot longer and a lot narrower as it tapers down. And the females tend to, it gets really blunt pretty quickly compared to the male that I have. And so I know this one I verified. They told me female, female, female. So hopefully this is a female, looks like a female. And another little interesting fact that I've read from a professional is that the females grow slower, and they don't develop as quick from little young ones up to maybe 3 years old, where a 3-year-old male growing up to 3 years old will put on a lot more bulk and seem to grow up faster, where the females are slower growing. But then I also read that the females can eat more, not oversized prey, but just feed a little bit more often, normal sized prey. And because they need to put on a little bit more weight, especially if they're going to be breeding. They need to put on some weight because they go that time without eating, and they need the extra energy. I think that's a neat little interesting fact. Correct me if you think I'm wrong, or if you see some truth to that. But pretty interesting. And my hypo boa is really slow growing, but Snakes at Sunset told me that she was a he, and so I've been calling him Leo, but he may be a female. I want to show you how my routine goes daily or every other day. I don't get the leopard female boa out every day, but just to show you when I go in to get her, in the afternoon, she's perfectly fine with me picking her up. And it's only when I play with her, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, have her out, and then I put her back into her terrarium, and she gets situated back in here, pretty immediately, hangs out for maybe a couple of minutes, and then sees me as the demon, and gets really unhappy with me. I don't know if it's because she was having so much fun being out and she was enjoying it, and then when I go to put her back in, she's like, oh, I don't want to go back in there, and she's pissy because I'm making her go back in, and she's unhappy about that. Most people would say snakes aren't like that, they don't have a clue, but man, my other two snakes, from having them 2 years, I have learned so much that they have little personalities, and they're smarter than what normal people give them credit for. They can manipulate. They're intelligent little creatures. So I'm not going to put anything past them as far as a level of intelligence. But let me look at my beautiful cage that I've made for Carmela. Yes, and I got some moss in there. It holds moisture real well. I trimmed down a limb that I had that I've used over the last couple of years, and put everything in here. Looks really, really good. And let's get her out. I'm going to show you how she's fine. This is my first interaction of the day, and now I've got this rock kind of positioned on her hide, which I really don't want to have. Let's see if I move this. Yeah, it's going to make it fall, but I need to just put another rock probably right here so I can take this hide out more easily. Where is she? Oh shit, don't tell me she got out. Okay. Scared me. I've got a little heating pad under here, reptile heating pad, so maybe that's too warm for her, so she went under here. Woo, I had a little bit of a heart attack because she's always under here. But here she is. Let me see if I can move the camera so you can see. Let's see. Hard to see on my little screen. Here she is sleeping right here. But I'm going to take her out. See, she's taking the top off her. She's not upset. She's seeing my hand. She's not pissy at all. And it's going to be very, very drastic once I take her out and handle her and then put her back in. So I'm going to go ahead and pick her up, and I'll hang out with her for a little bit, and then I'll put her back in the cage and she'll get upset. I'm sorry to bother you. You look really, really comfortable. Here I've had my snake out for about 2 hours. Still really tame and calm. Not upset. Not upset at me, which is more important. Not hostile. Nothing bad has happened. So we're going to put her back in her terrarium now, and we're going to see the mood switch and see her not want to possibly go in, and then when I leave her in there, she gets upset and resorts to being striky and trying to bite me. Putting her back in. $84, 85 degrees, 88, 86 degrees. She's 89 degrees because she's been next to my body. 86 degrees, 97 degrees because I got heat coming down right here. Soil there is 78 degrees. Put my hand in there and see how she reacts. I don't really want to get bit. She gets back in this terrarium after being on me, and she just gets bothered. I don't know what else to say, but I can tell from her behavior and her tongue flicks that she would reach out and get me on the finger. I'm not going to let her bite me, and I'm not going to upset her too much. Just good policy not to upset your reptile. Upset them as little bit as possible. But after I play with her, she's fine, and then she gets back in her terrarium after I play with her, and that's when she gets upset with me. So I don't know, I'm learning, always learning behavior of these reptiles.